Hey guys, today I'm going to be doing a GCSE AQA English Language paper and question breakdown because you study a lot in English language, but I just want to do a quick video outlining all the papers just so then there's no confusion on the day of the exam. I mean, your teachers will have probably banged on about it again and again, but just in case, I'm going to be going through it quite quickly. So if you have any questions, comment them down below and I'll try to reply. So let's get into it. So there's two papers. They're both an hour and 45 minutes. They're both 50% and they're both 80 marks. And unlike English literature, where the questions and the extracts are on a different page and paper, and then you have to write them in a booklet. With English language, although the extracts you get are on a different paper, the questions and the answers will be the same. So you have the question, then you have to write your answer underneath it. Quick thing, what they have done is that they have expanded the space, the examiners, but what they really want, well, not the examiners, the makers of the exam, but what they really want people to know is that you do not have to use all the space that you're given. This is just so then less people ask for booklets to write down extra things. So that's why they've done it. But don't think, oh gosh, I've only written this much, I haven't used all the space. So yeah, don't worry. But anyway, let's get into it. So paper one, so that's your literacy paper, like it's fiction. And they'll give you an extract or a short story, and so there'll be 4 questions. So question 1, first of all, you have an hour and 45 minutes. What I recommend is doing and 15 minutes reading the extract, 45 minutes section A, so the 4 questions, and then 45 minutes question B, and that's for the other paper as well. So after you've read the extract, so question 1, this is 4 marks, and you have to list 4 things that you see usually at the beginning of the extract, but yeah, it won't be more than a few lines of the extract that they give you. So that should be quite quick. You just have to list what you can see, or they will say something like, list 4 things that are on the bus, if they're on a bus, or list 4 things that is happening in this extract, or I don't know, but yeah, that's pretty simple. Question 2, so this is an 8 mark, and they'll also give you an extract, probably a different one, but it'll be of the same text, and so they'll say has the writer or explain how the writer has used language to describe this or portray this. So, e.g., how has the writer used language to illustrate the bus journey? So I'm just thinking of the question that I did for my mocks in April last year. And then they'll also have then question 3. This is also 8 marks, but this is on structure, and this is usually the whole text, I think. And they'll say it will be usually something like, how has the writer structured the text to interest you? So you just have to explain, obviously, how you have to explain the structure and say this. So the writer uses this kind of structure. This is interesting because he also uses this. He uses the use of flashbacks or something. And then question 4 is a 20 marker, so it's much bigger than the other questions, and it will have a proposition. So it'll say, the writer makes this character in the extract really sympathetic, and you'll say, to what extent do you agree? And usually you'll have to usually most of the time you'll agree with it, but not all the time. And once you've agreed with it, sorry, I can't speak today. Once you and then you have to explain all the reasons why. So you have to say, yes, I agree because, but you have to talk about them in detail. So you have to use language, structure, etc. And then there's question 5. This is section B, and this, so usually, so there's an option. So there's usually a picture, and they'll say write a description of this picture, and then there's also something like write a story or part of a story or the beginning of a story about, I don't know, something like a plot twist or about an interesting journey. The questions are very big, though. What you should note is Mr. Bruff has warned that they could give you 2 pictures and you have to describe one of them, or they could give you 2 stories. So don't rely don't go into the exam thinking, oh, I'm definitely going to do the story, or oh, I'm definitely going to do the description, because they may not have the option, but they always have 2 options. And then there's paper 2. So this is your non-fiction text, so persuasive techniques, information, etc. Unlike the other one, you'll get 2 extracts. So the first, and you'll get 2 extracts, or 2 articles, 2 non-fiction texts. So read over them. Then, so section A, question 1 is true or false. So they give you 8 statements, and you have to you have to like tick or shade the 4 boxes that are true. So that's 4 marks. Then question 2 is they'll say something like, give a on both of the articles. They say something like, give a summary of the differences between something similar in both of them. So for example, one of the mock exams was about football, I think, and it was like illustrate the differences in the attitudes. Oh, I really can't remember. I'm sorry. But yeah, it'll just be a summary of differences, and this is 8 marks. But it could also be similarities, so just beware. But this shouldn't be very long. Then question 3. This is 12 marks, and it's usually 1 extract, and it'll say, how has the writer used language to. Usually it will be interest you, but it could also be something like something. Ask your teacher; they will know much more about this than me, because I have not done this in about 6 months. So, wow, that was a long time ago. And this is 16 marks. No, sorry, no, this is 12 marks. And then question 4 is you have to compare how the writer uses different techniques to interest you, or to illustrate this, or to illustrate that. This was 60 marks. And then, sorry, I explained the last question really bad. I just had to redo it. So, question 5 is your writing, is like your writing task, but it's not creative writing, it's non-fiction writing. So it's usually writing to persuade. So then they'll have an opposition. Like one of the mock questions was, well, at least I think it was something like, music festivals just cost the government money and have a lot and cause a mess. They're not worth it, or something like that. I think I got mixed it up. Anyway, and then they'll say something, like, write a letter to your local MP for this argument, or write a broadsheet article for a newspaper against this argument, or it'll have the option of writing against, or it'll say something like, do a speech on your views on this. So it could be a speech, it could be an article, it could be something else. So, yeah, ask your teacher about it more, because I know I've explained it all. I'm gonna try to, but I haven't, like, revised this in, like, 6 months, so this is just off my top of my head. Like, I looked through a practice paper I had, and I refreshed myself. But I'm gonna make, I might make in the future, like in a few months, I might make a better video on like what techniques I can give you. But ask your teacher; they'll be most about this. But I hope this video has been a bit helpful. Like, sorry that it's been way too long. Like, I'm such a cringy speaker, and I'm such a slow speaker. Public speaking is not my best thing. But yeah, I hope this has been helpful. Thanks for watching.